Hello everyone, in this video I'll be covering another Vedic Mathematics tutorial. This time we'll be looking at algebraic multiplication. Before we looked at arithmetic multiplication where we took numbers like 22 times 22, something like that. But in this one I'm going to look at something a little bit harder, and it's going to be algebraic. So x plus 1 times x plus 2. Now the usual way that we would do this is we would do x times x plus x times 2 plus x times 1 plus 1 times 2, and then we would get our answer like x squared plus 2x plus x plus 2. We would simplify the middle and we would get something like this. For some people this may be very easy to do, very quick, but this can be done quicker and much faster using Vedic Mathematics. So let's look at this once more. So before we looked at vertically and crosswise. We looked at this formula used by Vedic Maths. Well, we can use the same formula for algebraic multiplication. So let's look at this example one more time, and we'll write it how we write a normal multiplication problem. One on top of the other. So x plus 1 times x plus 2. Now, as you remember from the last video on multiplication, we first do this. The first step we do from rightwards to leftwards, where we do 1 times 2, the units digit, and then we get 2. Then the next step would be the cross multiplication and then adding those. So the digit here times the digit here plus the digit here times the digit here. So then you get 1 times x, which is x, plus 2 times x, which is 2x. So you get 3x. And one thing, don't forget to write whether it's negative or positive before the digit. So this is positive 2. So make sure you write that. So the next thing is positive 3x. And then our last thing is x squared, because x times x is equal to x squared. So as you can see, we got our answer very easily, and if you follow this, it'll be much quicker than the normal method. So let's look at another example, and keep in mind that this is very, very easy. We're doing the exact same thing as we do in multiplication. So suppose we have I don't know, 2x plus 3 times 3x minus 1. Now, just because we have a negative, it makes no difference. We do the same thing. So our first step is the units digit. Second step, cross multiplication and then adding that. Third step is then doing the last digit on the left. So 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. Don't forget to write whether it's positive or negative. 3 times 3x is 9x plus 2x times minus 1. So that's 9x plus minus 2x, which is plus 7x. And the last step is 2x times 3x, which is, of course, 6x squared. So we got our answer again. In the normal method, it would take us a little bit more time, as we would have to do each step, and we would get 4 variables, which we would then simplify. Now, I'm sure you guys have got the basic idea, but let's look at a little bit more complicated problems. How do we look at that? So, for example, let's go to 3 variables times 3 variables. So 2x squared plus 3x plus 1 times x squared plus, wait, let me make this a little bit easier, x plus, x squared plus x minus 2. Sorry, that was, okay, so here's our problem. Now, just like we did 3-digit multiplication in the last video, we do the same thing here. So 1 times minus 2 is minus 2. 2 times 3x is 6x. But don't forget this minus sign. So 3x times minus 2 is minus 6x plus x, which is minus 5x. Then the hardest step, which we have to do 3 things. So 2x times minus 2, 2x squared times minus 2 is minus 4x squared. Let me just write that down so it's easier to know. Plus x squared plus 3x squared, which is 0. So we can just write 0 here to make it easier to understand. And then our next thing is 2x cubed plus 3x cubed. So then we get plus 5x cubed. And then our last step would be 2x squared times x squared, which is 2x to the 4. Now, as you can see, this was very easy. It was not at all hard. Even with 3 variables, it was pretty easy. It was not that hard. Now, as long as you follow these steps, arithmetic multiplication is very, very easy. Let's just look at one more example to finish off the video. So, suppose we have x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3 times x squared plus 2x squared plus 2. Okay, so we keep following the same steps, guys, and you have to keep this in mind. As long as you keep following the steps that we have, it's very, very easy. Now let's look at the first step, going from rightwards to leftwards. Minus 3 times 2 is minus 6. 2x squared plus times plus 2 is 4x squared. And then we do plus minus 3 times 2x squared, which is minus 6x squared. So that would give us minus 2x squared. Then our next step is doing the cross multiplication with the 3 things. So then we have 2x cubed plus minus 3x squared plus 2x to the 4. Now, keep in mind, guys, that these all have different exponents at the end, like 3, 2, and 4. If it's like this and you cannot simplify it any further, then you can just write it as how it looks. So we would get minus 3x squared plus 2x cubed plus 2x to the 4, sorry. And then our last step is x cubed times x squared, which would be x to the 5, or yes, x to the power of 5. So we got our answer, but let's just simplify this at the end, and we finally get it as x to the power of 5 plus 2x to the power of 4 plus 2x to the power of 3 minus 5x squared minus 6. There we have it. Quite simply, we've covered this algebraic multiplication. Some hard problems that you guys could try solving at home are x cubed plus 2x minus 5x x squared plus 3x plus 5. So try that at home. In the next week's video, we'll be covering quadratic factorization. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. See you in the next video.